Hey car guys, have you ever driven away from a repair shop feeling like you paid more than you should have, but you couldn't quite put your finger on why? You're definitely not alone. In fact, 2/3 of drivers say they don't fully trust auto repair shops, according to AAA. As someone who's seen a fair share of shady tactics, I totally get it. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on 13 common mechanic scams and show you exactly how to spot and avoid them. By the end of this video, you'll have the inside scoop to outsmart even the sneakiest upsell. And if you find this helpful, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and maybe share these tips with a friend. Ready? Let's get rolling. First, let's talk about the four most common tricks mechanics use. These scams happen so often that if you've taken your car for repairs in the past year, there's a good chance you've encountered at least one. Scam number 1, the urgent fluid flush. You show up for a simple oil change, and suddenly, the mechanic's like, "Oh wow, your coolant is super dirty. If we don't flush this now, your engine could overheat." Meanwhile, your car only has 25,000 miles on it, and it's barely out of the break-in period. Here's the reality: most fluids, coolant, transmission fluid, brake fluid often last 50,000 to 100,000 miles, depending on manufacturer recommendations. If a shop tries to push a flush at 30,000 miles or earlier without showing solid proof, that's a big red flag. Could it need a flush? Maybe, if you're hauling cargo across the desert every day. But usually, it's just a quick upsell that can cost you between $100 and $300 a pop. My tip: always check your owner's manual before authorizing any fluid flush. And if they can't provide proof like a test strip or lab analysis, consider saying, "No thanks, I'll pass for now." Don't let them freak you out with words like sludge when your manual says you're good for another 20,000 miles. Scam number 2, the mystery check engine light. The little orange monster on your dashboard, the check engine light. It's responsible for countless panicked phone calls. Some shops use this panic to their advantage, dropping scary lines like, this could cost over $1,000 to fix. But guess what? According to the EPA, about 10% of check engine issues are trivial, like a loose gas cap. So if yours lights up, don't automatically expect the worst. A $20 OBD to scanner can read the diagnostic trouble codes DTCs. Once you have that code, Google it. For instance, P0455 often hints at an evap leak or that same loose gas cap. P0171 might just be a dirty air filter or a small vacuum leak. P0420 sometimes means a bum oxygen sensor rather than a failing catalytic converter. Armed with that knowledge, you can figure out if it's something small like a $15 fix instead of letting a mechanic replace half your engine. Scam number 3, unnecessary air filter replacements. Picture this: you're in for an oil change, and they waltz up holding a dirty, bug-ridden air filter. "Look how nasty it is, we should replace it now." But hold on, do you even recognize that filter? Is it actually from your car? The Car Care Council notes that many drivers get tricked into replacing air filters way too early. Typically, an engine air filter lasts 15,000 to 30,000 miles, unless you're daily driving through sandstorms. My go-to move is to pop the hood myself. If it's truly gross, I'll order a new one online for $10 and swap it in. If it's just a bit dusty, I tap it out or blow it off with compressed air and put it back in. It's that easy, so don't let them upsell you a filter that might not even be yours. Scam number 4, overcharging for simple fixes. This one's a classic. They'll say, your cabin filter is disgusting, we'll replace it for $150. Meanwhile, you can buy that thing for around $10 to $20 online, and it takes maybe 5 minutes to swap out. The same goes for wiper blades, a quick 2-minute job, yet some shops charge $80 or more. I actually fell for this once when I was younger. I got billed for an hour of labor to replace wiper blades. Let me tell you, that's a $50 lesson I won't forget. Next time, you can watch a 2-minute YouTube tutorial to see how simple it is. then you'll realize you don't need to pay labor for a job you can do in a commercial brake at home. Scam number 5, upselling synthetic oil unnecessarily. Your car really needs synthetic kit to run smoother and last longer. Now, synthetic oil is awesome if your car's manufacturer calls for it or you're doing some extreme driving. But Consumer Reports found that 75% of everyday vehicles do just fine with conventional oil when that's what the manual recommends. Here's the kicker: synthetic often costs twice as much. That's pure profit for shops if you're not actually required to use it. Before you say yes, check your oil cap or your manual. If it specifically says synthetic, sure, go for it. Otherwise, don't let them scare you with vague statements like, "Your engine sounds noisy without it." Stick to what the manufacturer designed your engine for. Scam number 6, the brake pad emergency. I get it, if there's one thing you want to work perfectly, it's brakes. Some shops exploit that by saying, "You're at 10%, this is dangerous. We gotta replace them right now." Look, brake pads generally need replacing around 3 millimeters thickness. If you're told you're at 4 millimeters or 5 millimeters, you might still have a few thousand miles of safe stopping left. Yes, eventually you'll need new pads, but if they can't show you the measurement with a gauge, be suspicious. According to an HTSA, pads below 3 millimeters can risk rotor damage. Above that, you usually have some wiggle room. It's always okay to get a second opinion on a big brake job. Spending $50 for someone else to confirm can save you hundreds if the first shop was overhyping it. Scam number 7, shock strut upsell. Ever heard, your shocks are totally gone? We should replace all for around $1,000? Shocks and struts don't usually wear out by mileage alone, they fail based on road conditions, loads you carry, and more. Some last 50,000 to 100,000 miles, or even beyond. A simple test at home: press down on each corner of your car. If it bounces more than twice, you might have an issue. If not, maybe you're good for a while longer. And if you're unsure, get that second opinion. Don't rely on one shop. We see this all the time at 60,000 miles. Scare tactic. Scam number 8, the phantom repair. Oh man, this one fires me up. You pay for a brand new timing belt or fuel pump, only to discover later that it was never installed. The FTC says Americans lose about $2 billion a year to auto repair fraud, and phantom fixes are a chunk of that. How to avoid it? Ask to see the old part they removed. A trustworthy shop has no issue keeping the replaced parts for you to inspect. If they refuse or the invoice is super vague about what was done, be on high alert. You're paying good money, you deserve proof. Scam number 9, fake factory-only parts. A mechanic might warn, if you don't use these official factory parts, your car will explode and your warranty will vanish. Sometimes that's just nonsense. Unless you drive a specific high-end or exotic vehicle, aftermarket parts are often just as good as OEM, costing 30 to 50% less. Napa found that 89% of aftermarket parts perform equivalently to OEM. I've seen something as basic as a Honda oxygen sensor cost $250 for OEM or $75 for a reputable aftermarket brand. That's a massive difference. Check your warranty's fine print. Most say genuine or equivalent. That word equivalent is key. Don't get spooked into overspending. Scam number 10, your warranty is voided lie. Dealerships often throw this around. If you don't do all your repairs here, your warranty's toast. But here's the good news. The Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act protects you. Manufacturers can't just void your warranty for getting your oil changed at a local shop or using aftermarket parts, as long as the work meets spec. Keep your receipts. Oil changes, tire rotations, brake jobs, especially if done somewhere other than the dealership. If they try to deny your warranty, push back. You can even file a complaint with the FTC. Don't let them bully you into thinking only the dealership can touch your car. Scam number 11, blinker fluid and other fake products. Yes, some shops claim blinker fluid is a thing even though it's a well-known joke among gearheads. You might also see them push overpriced premium washer fluid at $50 a gallon, or miracle additives your engine supposedly needs every 3,000 miles. In reality, modern fuels already come with additives to keep injectors clean. And if your headlights are cloudy, you can buy a $10 restoration kit at the auto parts store instead of paying a shop $100 plus. Bottom line, if it sounds weird or suspicious like a product you've never heard about, chances are it's either not necessary or flat out fake. Scam number 12, inflated labor hours. Ever see a bill that says 3 hours of labor for an alternator replacement, even though a skilled mechanic finished it in an hour? Some shops rely on book time, a standardized estimate. That's fair up to a point, but it can also be used to inflate costs if the mechanic finished way faster and still charges you the full time. What to do? Compare quotes on sites like Repairable or Your Mechanic. If your invoice's labor hours are wildly off, don't be shy about asking, why is this 3 hours if you finished in 45 minutes? Also, check local laws. Many states require shops to get your approval if the final bill exceeds the estimate by more than 10%. Scam number 13, the free inspection trap. Who doesn't love free? That's exactly why these inspections seem like a gift. But the AAA found that 22% of free inspections lead to recommendations for repairs you don't actually need. They'll say your belts are about to snap, your suspension is shot, and if you don't fix it now, you know the drill. My strategy: never agree to big repairs on the spot after a free check. Take your time, check with a second mechanic, or do a bit of research. If your serpentine belt is truly crumbling, you'll see cracks or damage. If your suspension is genuinely bad, you'll feel it in the ride. Don't let a special limited time offer push you into spending hundreds or thousands. Alright, that covers 13 common scams that unscrupulous mechanics might pull. But I want to leave you with one golden rule that'll keep you safe from the majority of these pitfalls. Always get a second opinion if you feel pressured or uncertain. If they can't show you the old part, can't provide pictures, or act cagey about giving specifics, that's your cue to pump the brakes. Plenty of honest shops out there will respect that you're being careful with your money. Hey, if this guide saved you some cash or gave you peace of mind, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more car tips and tricks. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more content like this, and share it with anyone you know who drives a car. Basically everyone, right?